Boy. Oh. There is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. I wake up in the morning, tell you what I see on my TV screen. I see the blood of an innocent child, and everybody's watching. Now I'm looking out my window, and what do I see? I see an army of a soldier man marching across the street. Hey, hey, Mr. Soldier Man, tomorrow is the day you go to war. Boy, you are fighting for another man's guns, and you don't even know him. Ooh, what did it say to make you so blind to your conscience and reason? Could it be love for your country, or for the gun you use in killing? So there is fire on the mountain, and nobody seems to be on the run. Oh, there is fire on the mountain top, and no one is running. Hey, Mr. Loverman.
Yeah, there's fire on the mountain. A big fire on the mountain. Listen, I don't know about you, but I'm really worried as a Ghanaian. I'm worried because of what is happening around us. And Leo Stanley was telling me that he was somewhere yesterday, and if care is not taken, we're going to be running short of rice on the market. All right. He says the Indians somewhat have decided not to sell their rice anymore. So if care is not taken, we'll not be able to import the rice that we need. And don't forget that we're just in the month of August. September is just around the corner, and then the year will be ending where Christmas will be on as well. Now, as we speak, we all know that on the 26th of July, a coup d'etat took place in Niger, and the elected president Mohamed Bazoum, who has only spent some 2 years in office, has been removed from office as president of Niger. Now, after the coup, Benin closed its border with Niger in accordance with the one of the decisions taken by the Economic Community of West African States, that is ECOWAS. Now, the closure of the border has created problems for businessmen and women, especially the ones that trade or do business in terms of purchasing onions, because their onions are locked up at the border areas, and the onions are going bad. I mean, they're getting rotten. Now, there are concerns that if care is not taken, there will be shortage of onions on the market. I mean, one of the guys who deals in the importation of onions says to me yesterday that to get to a point in time, if care is not taken, you have money in your hands, but you don't have the vegetable to buy. Have that at the back of your mind. Now, having that at the back of your mind should be that here in Ghana, whatever we want to eat, we would want to add some onions to it. So if you're preparing your stew, you're preparing your soup, there's some amount of onions in there. Even when the meals are prepared, your salads, your gobe, your fried rice, the angwamos, everything that we go, even when we buy kebab, we want to add some onions to it. And so it tells you that onion is part of our delicacy, and it has a lot of health benefits. For example, onions have many antioxidants in there. So when you enjoy your onions, well, you are also detoxifying your system. Onions help with blood sugar levels. Onions improve digestive health. Onions, are loaded with nutrients. Onions, act as anti-inflammatory properties. Onions may keep certain cancers, not all cancers, but onions may keep certain cancers at bay. Onions reduces risks of Alzheimer's disease. Onion is a great source of vitamin C. Onion supports bone health. Onion is an antibacterial, vegetable, and I can go on and on and on and on.
Do you know that if you put the peels of onions in warm water and then you spray it.
It's an insecticide as well.
Yeah, insecticide.
It's an insecticide. So cockroaches and mosquitoes, it repels them as well. So onions are part of our daily, meals that we enjoy. So all that is happening, all that we've told you, how do you feel? We'd like to hear from you as usual. Our WhatsApp number is 055-1111-995. All right, it's 055-1111-995. Let's hear from you. Now we are live as I speak on Facebook. And listen, if you go on Facebook right now, your heart will be broken. Your heart will be broken because we're showing you on Facebook large quantities of onions that have gone bad. Now this is where my problem is. Aside from the fact that we're being told that if care is not taken, onions will run out or run short on the market, and we'll not get some to buy. And even when you have the money, you cannot buy. Right now, as it is, the price of onion is so high; it's quite expensive. And you and I know that Ghana's food inflation is now hovering around some 53 or 54% per the last data that was brought out. Now, when you go out there and you buy tomatoes right now. Now, we all know tomatoes are quite expensive. So for the people who operate the chop bars and co, when they go out there and they want to buy the tomatoes, they will not go and buy tomatoes that are hard, the ones that are fresh and hard. They'll buy the ones that are a bit rotting and are broken, because that's what they can afford. Those ones you cannot wash them, because when you wash them, now take quantity. So they go to their grinders and then they grind them. So when you buy this kind of rotten, onions, because I'm told that some of them are buying or selling these rotten onions to some of the chopper operators. They cannot wash them well because running in an air cup. So they also blend it and add it to the rotten tomatoes that they have blended. And then when you go to the chopper, you're taking your fufu and your banku. You think that you're enjoying some proper soup. These are the things we're consuming out there, so we need to be concerned about it. More for the laundry drop-off or the grocery pickup. Even when you sit down with your friends to have lunch, or you go to the filling station to fill up your tank, when you're asked whether cash or card, it should always be card. That should be the response you would give. Always say card. Now, I switched from cash to card, and I'm enjoying my purchases with all my MasterCard. You can do same. It's convenient. It gives you a lot of stress-free. So make sure you use your MasterCard. Let's talk about what we'll be eating later this afternoon, because if you want to go to KFC to go enjoy some meals, you might be asking yourself, do I have the money for KFC? Listen, KFC has dropped the price, so you don't have to drop your favorite meal at KFC. Enjoy the delicious Streetwise 2 for only 39 Ghana cedis at your nearest KFC restaurant. Limited time, unlimited goodness. Listen, KFC is always finger-licking good. So imagine getting rewarded for doing something you already do every single day. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, that's exactly what Momo Season is all about. The Momo Season is here. There's something for everyone. Download the Momo app on Play Store or App Store and use Momo Pay for your day-to-day transactions to a merchant, either through the QR code or the merchant ID, and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. Yes, 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly. Now, our merchants are also not left out of the reward. Receive payments and win. Keep using your Momo Pay on the Momo app and get rewarded. Now, there are lots and lots of exciting prizes for everyone. So what are you doing today? Transact more with Momo Pay and more points and win big this Momo season. You can visit momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh for your Momo business account today, and you get to enjoy it. It's Momo season, so just Momo it with Momo Pay. Terms and conditions apply. So Charlie, send me some Momo. So when you send me the Momo, you will be enjoying by winning. Why are you laughing, Leo? Listen, eggs have the nutrient, the choline in the yolk. Now, choline is good for baby brain development during pregnancy, during breastfeeding, through to early childhood. So pass this on to all the pregnant and breastfeeding women and remember to eat an egg today. I have eaten one egg already. Follow the campaign on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Extra O. All right, so you're still tuned to Love 99.5. Question is, what is your preferred color of tank? Is it green? Is it black? Sometimes you look at the building that you're occupying, the house that you put up, look at the color you have, and you choose a tank color that will bring out the color of the building itself. And whatever color it is that you're looking for, Syntex has it. What kind of guarantee do you want? Again, Syntex has it. Question is, what kind of inner layer do you want, or are you looking for? Is it double? Is it triple? Is it quadruple? Well, as many inner layers as you want, Syntex has it too. So remember, no matter your water needs, Syntex has it. Syntex tank, you're strong, you're tough, and they have over 300 agents nationwide. Now to order a tank, you can call 0244-335-168, and you can visit Syntex on social media at Syntex Ghana or shop online on www.syntexgh.com. Like I said, Syntex tank, you're strong, you're tough. With me in the studios of Love 99.5 is one of our very good, great, amazing journalists. Nana Yaujima is right here with me in the studios of Love 99.5. Nana, good morning to you.
Good morning, David.
And we have an economist as well with us, and he is Mr. Evans Lunu. Evans, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And Stephen Kwarting is also here with us. His nickname is Akonta, and he's an importer and supplier of Nigerian onions. Stephen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Or should I say Akonta?
Yeah.
Did you bring us some onions? Right now that we are running short of onions on the market, did you bring us some onions?
Oh yeah, I couldn't bring some because of the scarcity.
Oh, anyone else will show love to us.
All right. Then next time. Okay.
But Nana, let me start off with the conversation with you. And listeners, like I said, we are live on Facebook. It's LUV 99.5 FM. And if you want to appreciate, the conversation we're having, the fact that we might run out of onions on the market, and even if you have money to buy onions, you'll not get the onions to buy. Go onto Facebook and get to appreciate what we're talking about. So, Nana, I don't know what prompted you to go out there to check what the situation was like in terms of the onions on our market. Because, like I said, on the 26th of July, the coup took place in, Niger, and ECOWAS asked that borders be closed. Well, at the time when the borders were closed, these businessmen have already, gone out there to go purchase onions. What did you find when you went out there?
So, David, as journalists, we go out, and whenever there are issues, we try to follow up. For instance, we learned of the issue in Benin, in Niger, just on social media and other international platforms. There's the coup d'etat. So we had to follow up and see the impact on Ghana as a country. And from my own investigation, I understood that one of Ghana's biggest imports from Niger are onions. Therefore, the search took us to the onion market, Kwadaso onion market, which is the biggest in the Ashanti region, to find out more. And interestingly, I never preempted that the situation will be this dire. I just entered the market. Since we are journalists, sometimes we go into situations like this, identifying ourselves to the people. Immediately, I got there, introduced myself as a journalist. It was as if I had something special that attracted them to me. They were all coming to me, almost all the importers, and I couldn't take time to listen to them, one after the other. They all rushed to me. For instance, Akonta just bumped into us, and he started explaining things to us. At a point, they were even trying to fight for my audience. They wanted to speak to me. So we took time and started listening to the issues one after the other. So they took me to the entrance of the market to get an understanding of how the issue is. So you get to the entrance of the market. It was a Monday. Got there, and the understanding was that I should speak to the loading boys, those who offload the onions whenever they come into the country. When the trucks come, some people go to the truck, and they are contracted to offload the onions for these importers. And they told me that the day has been very dry. They say normally on Mondays or beginning of the weeks, at least 30 trucks should be in Ghana or the Kwadaso onion market to offload its content for these importers. But on the day, we could count less than 5 of them. So it caught my attention. I decided then to proceed to talk to the drivers about the situation on the borders. And according to the drivers, it took them more than 10 days to get the onions they are cutting to Ghana across the Benin border, because Benin has closed its borders to all trucks from Niger due to the coup d'etat. And at a point, Niger also had to close its borders for reasons that they could not explain to us. So, according to one of the drivers who was able to come to Ghana, it took a call from the Ghanaian authorities, the ambassador in Niger. So they called him. He sent some delegation to the border to have a conversation with the border authorities on how best they can deal
which side
with
of the border? Is it the Nigerian border or the Beninois border?
Both sides.
Both borders, okay.
Yeah.
And listeners, what we want also for you to do for us is stay with us on Facebook, because you would appreciate the conversation more based on what we're showing you. On Facebook right now, for example, we're showing you the number of trucks carrying onions and other goods meant to come to Ghana have all, gotten locked up at the Beninois border. So go check the number of trucks available, packed. And onions are perishable goods.
Exactly.
So, and the weather we have, they cover it. So when the rains and the hot weather and all that, combination of it will make the onions get rotting quickly. So that's what we're talking about. Nana, please.
So we are talking about on the situation on the border. The video I was able to attain, it shows trucks packed on both sides,
and
the shoulders of the road, and it goes as far as the eye can see.
Yeah.
When the drivers describe it, they tell me you can walk from one end. If you want to find the end of these tracks, where the last track is, you can walk for hours and you will not be able to get to your destination. So hundreds of trucks carting these onions to Ghana are locked up there. I spoke to some of the these importers, and per the calculations that we did, we tried to find the list numbers. So on the lower side, if they tell you each of them the number of trucks that they are bringing in and do a simple calculation, at least 100 trucks carting these onions are bound for Ghana. They are all locked up there.
How are they taking the losses? I mean, the situation we find ourselves in, how are they taking it straight this time?
I think the best person to tell us how they feel is Akonta.
No, he will speak for himself, but you engage with other traders out there as well. What did you get? What did they share with you?
So let me tell you a story.
Yes,
there's one Aminu I spoke to.
Aminu?
Yes,
okay.
And he told me that he has two brothers who are all dealing in onions, and they are all in the hospital. They are on their hospital beds at the time that you were speaking.
Why?
Because of the shock that came with the news that they received. Because somebody is carting more than 2 or 3 trucks from Niger to Ghana, and these trucks.
And let me paint a picture for our listeners out there. One truck can carry as many as 330 bags of onion.
Yes.
One truck
can
carry as many as 330 bags of onion. Now, one bag of onion roughly is estimated to be costing 1,500. So if we have 330, bags on a truck selling 1,500, means that it's 495,000 Ghana cedis.
4.9 billion. Let's get our people to understand it. Old cities. David,
4.95 billion old Ghana cedis.
I did a calculation, and in my calculation, I had to, find the average or do it on the lower side. So I picked the lower figures they gave me. So if they are saying that each truck is carting 330, I decided to reduce it to 300 and multiply it by 100. Per the calculations were they there, we are talking somewhere around 45 million cedis.
Yeah,
close to $4 million locked up at the borders, and a few vehicles or trucks that had been able to enter the borders and come down to Kwadaso for their wares or for the onions they were cutting to be offloaded. Almost all of the onions were rotting away.
And that's what we're showing you on Facebook right now. Listeners, join us there. I mean, see it for yourself. These are business people who've invested monies into bringing down onions, and this is what they get. This is what they're getting. Exactly. And you and I who consume this vegetable, you and I are going to struggle to get onions to buy. And like you'll be hearing shortly, even if we get the onions to buy, it will be so expensive. But I want you to picture this. The biggest challenge is we are told that there are some traders out there who are selling these rotting onions to chop operators. Yep. They buy them, wash them kakra. I don't know tomato.
How do you wash these things? How do you wash them?
Unlike tomatoes that will quickly, reduce in that number. That's why we kakra and you be free. But they blend them all together. So rotten tomatoes, onions. That's what ends up at the chop where we go and eat. Akonta, that is Stephen Kwarteng. Once again, thank you very much for your time. And you're such a gentleman. I gave him 7 o'clock. He was here before 7. So I'm not saying anything against anybody. So, Stephen, what is your own story? You are an importer of onions from Niger, and you're a distributor as well. What's your story?
All right, I'll start by saying let me greet my people there at Kwadaso Market, especially Chairman Boss and the other elders there. All right. You know, I am an importer of onion from Niger, but the whole story starts by, you know, we buy the onion from Niger, and then our best way to pass with the onion to Ghana was Burkina. So of late, like about 3 or 4 months ago, we were facing challenges there with these Boko Haram people. So when we were coming, always we meet them on the way. They killed some of our drivers and their mates, and then go on to burn the trucks plus the onions.
So indulge me. Let me just quickly add this.
Yeah.
When was the last time a driver was killed, or a driver's mate was killed, or the truck bent? When was the last time?
Oh, a week ago.
Just last week.
Yeah.
How many trucks were bent?
About 7 or more.
With the onions?
Yes.
The Boko Haram people bent these trucks with onions. Bent it.
Yes.
And then they slaughtered.
Yeah, the one driver and his mate.
Not shoot them.
No, they
used machetes
them,
to cut their heads.
Yeah, that's their means of killing.
And that's just last week.
Just last week, yes.
Please go on.
Okay. So, like I was saying, we use this Burkina border, that Burkina way, to import our onion. So we were facing all these challenges, and then we had an option to pass at the Benin border. You know, it was the Burkina border is, I mean, short way.
It's a short route
compared to
the
Benin.
Okay.
But the Benin border was the option left for us. So we chose that one, and we were importing the goods through that way. So just of late, we heard again that the Nigerian, they were overthrowing their president. Bazoum. So we were not informed earlier. So we went for the onion as we always do. But when we got to the Benin border, they said their border was closed. So we asked, and these people, you know, you will ask and they will not give you good answers to. So we stood there and we were hoping that maybe they will open the border for us.
That is the Benin border.
Yeah, okay. The Benin, So we stood there for some time and they were not giving up.
When you say some time, are we talking hours? Are we talking days?
No. For we stood there for 5 days or getting to a week.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were not opening the border. So
and the onions were still there.
Yeah, in the truck.
Okay.
And you know, as you said, onion, they are perishable goods. When they remain in the truck for about, let me say, more than 4 days, they start to spoil. So we had a call from the Benin border that we should come to Burkina border. There are soldiers there that will escort us to Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that you don't face the Boko Haram.
Yeah, the Boko Haram
people. Oh, okay.
So
okay.
most of the trucks turned to Burkina border, and we came to Burkina. We were there for some days, to like 3 or 4 days, and we were not seeing any soldier there to escort us. So in that case, some of the drivers and owners of the onion, as day in day out, they were seeing the spoil, how the onion were spoiling. They just took it to themselves that they will
risk.
Yeah, they will risk their lives and then pass on the way. Whatever will happen should happen. So
and that's why the killings happened last week. Yeah. But why won't you take the goods back? I mean, if you bought it in Niger and they have closed their borders, why don't you take the onions back to the people you bought it from, or why don't you offload it and dry it in Pokakra till you know that the border is clear? Is that not possible?
Yeah, you know, we've already bought them and have paid to the onion owners. You cannot take it back to them. The only thing you can do is what you are saying, to just offload them and dry them. But you will not know when are they going to open this border. Maybe it will last till a year, or you will not know. So we were just finding some alternative ways to come to bring the onion. So as they stood at the Burkina border and they were not getting the soldiers to escort them, they just took it to themselves, as I was saying. And on their way, they met these Boko Haram people. So, in fact, they killed one driver and his mate and burnt all the 7 cars and drove the other people back to Niger. They beat them mercilessly. Yeah, so I heard all of them were in the hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let's do this. You yourself personally, you are an importer of onions.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how much you have lost?
I've
How many
lost
bags? How much in terms of money? What have you lost?
I've lost a lot, and then if I mean to calculate, for now, when my truck reached the Benin border, I moved from Benin border to Burkina border. As they said, they will escort us, the soldiers will escort us. So my car got there, and then we couldn't get the escort again. So I moved the onions back to Niger.
Okay.
And through this movement, the driver calculated to me that he lost about 1 million CFA. If you change it to Ghana, that is 19,000 Ghana cedis for the movement alone. Yeah, for the movement alone. Before that, or after that, I offloaded all the goods, and then I saw about 100 and over bags were spoiled.
You offloaded them where?
At Niger.
You took them back to Niger and offloaded them there?
Yes.
So what I was saying before was also workable. You can offload them and dry them. Okay.
Yeah, it was spoiling. So I lost about 100 and over bags. Yes, I lost it. Wow. All were spoiled. So I threw them away, and then went back for that the spoiled 100 bags again to make my truck full. Yes. But
have your trucks arrived? What shape are the onions?
No, it is still there because we have that only. Yeah, it is still in Niger right now because we have
150,000.
Yeah, because we have that Burkina border and then Benin border. That's the only way we can pass. But although we have Nigeria, they also share border with Niger, but I don't think. We don't pass there.
So these onions that we see on the market, I mean the ones that we're seeing that are rotten, where are they from?
Niger.
They're from Niger.
These rotten ones, no. These ones are from Nigeria and then Burkina Faso.
Okay.
Yeah. Burkina Faso is just it is not part or it's not part. Is that my okay? Oh, sorry.
All right, so you go on.
Okay.
Apologies, we're on live radio and live television, so some of these things will happen. Yes, sir. So go on.
Okay. Burkina is just near to Ghana.
Okay.
And it's not part of what is happening there.
The Nigerian area.
Yeah.
So these onions that have come, the ones that we're seeing that have gotten rotten, what have you done to them? Have you thrown them away?
Definitely.
Or they are being sold?
Yeah, definitely. You throw these ones away, and as you were saying earlier. Some of them are sold to those people you said the
chopper operators. So they're selling to the chopper operators.
No, we throw most of them away. Yeah, we throw most of them away. The very spoiled ones will be thrown away, and then those you can shape them up and then do something with them. That one too, we sell.
Before I speak to our economist, Mr. Nunu, who is with us, so looking at the situation on the ground, unfortunately, businessmen and women like yourself are losing money.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, lives are even being lost. What is the situation on the market right now? Do we have onions at the market? And if we do, what can you tell us about the price of onions at the market?
All right. Right now, we don't have the Niger onions at the market right now.
We don't have that of the Niger.
Yeah. We only have the Ghanaian own and this little quantity from Burkina. So in that case, I would say the price of onion had rise.
It's gone up. Okay.
Yeah. It's gone up of late.
David, if I may, I understand that some of them use Nigeria. They are able to get onions from Nigeria.
He mentioned it. Yeah.
Okay.
He mentioned it.
But that's not we don't prefer. It's not a preferred one.
Is that a preferred variety you want?
So this onion you see on the screen. The Nigerian own. You see how it has spoiled. So that's why it's not the preferred one as compared to the Niger. Yeah.
And he was talking about Ghana producing or cultivating onions. Now the production of onions in Ghana was in 2019 621,608 tons. And if you look at the amount of onions we consume and we are cultivating or producing only 621,608 tons in 2019, and the figure is even dwindling as the years come by. You ask yourself, what are we doing to ourselves as a people? Again, I realize per checks that in 2021, and Mr. Nunu, I'm coming to you now with this question. In 2021, Ghana imported about $33.1 million. I'll take a figure again. $33.1 million imports of onions. And we import our onions basically from South Africa, from Niger, and Burkina Faso. Before I even ask the question about this 33.1 million importation of onions, dollars, to the country, what do you make of what is happening already? All that you've heard so far?
Yeah, it's pathetic, and that reveals how insufficient we are in terms of food supply. So our agriculture must be up and doing, and so the Ministry of Agriculture should be targeting specific areas of production. And you would agree with me that over the period we have had a surge or escalating inflation, especially with food inflation.
It's around 54?
Yes, so we should have targeted these areas. Quickly, in May, food inflation was 51.8 above the average inflation. When I say the average inflation, I mean the normal inflation, the CPI we quote, which was 42.2%. But food inflation was above that, 51.8%. Now, in June, food inflation shot from that to 54%, when the average inflation was 42.5%, meaning that non-food inflation did very well to chase up. Otherwise, we could have seen the worst. Now, in July, obviously, we had 55% food inflation when the average was 43%. So the food inflation was able to shoot up the CPI. So with this trend, we should have been mindful of how we targeted areas, and also having realized that this was going to happen, certain measures could have been put in place to help our traders. Now it would have that effect on us, and already prices are. VOA has a very good job on their website. I don't know whether it's accurate. He is in the business, so I am suspecting that it's accurate. But they are quoting some funny prices. That is a bag of onion before the coup or before the ban. We have sanctioned Niger, and before the sanction, a bag of onion was 900 Ghana cedis. Now after the ban, a bag of onion is 1,600 Ghana cedis. That is the price on VOA website. It means that if we don't take time, and they are projecting 3,000 Ghana cedis per bag, so we might be eating without onion.
Is that possible? Kebab cry, kebab cry. Jene kaho. Koshani meko jene kaho.
Yeah.
Everything jene.
People eat outside. When you go to work, you definitely would have to resort to the restaurant. And unlike what you do in your own home, I'm sure they would find a way of doing it without knowing. They can use some spices to augment that, and it will be very difficult to detect.
So if I can detect that in the restaurant, definitely when I'm eating masala, I'll see whether there's onion in there or not. They gobe. When you buy the gobe, you take pepper and add onions. So the food we eat, onions.
That's at a professional level.
Yeah. but what does this even mean to our economy?
Yeah.
Knowing and having at the back of your mind the figure that I quoted earlier, that we imported in 2021 33.1 million cedis worth of onions. Now, if we're doing this in Ghana, if we're cultivating this in Ghana, and we're not using this amount of dollars to buy, this money will stay in our economy, wouldn't it? So what is the impact of all this on our economy? And meanwhile, the World Bank in a food inflation report ranked Ghana globally as the 8th highest country where food is expensive.
Yes, and that is very dangerous, because I have always maintained food is a basic necessity.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you are rich or poor, you may have to eat. So if we don't work at reducing food price, then there's everything wrong with us. Now, the impact, obviously, high prices, and the next is loss of livelihood. As he talks about, the major source is from Niger. Now he talks about the fact that what is remaining is obviously from Ghana, and so it means that they are not trading now, and so somehow they are being rendered unemployed, and so it is likely some of our people are going to lose their livelihood. And once that happens, it will have a toll on even the quality of education they have for their kids, and the supply of food and basic necessities.
How come we don't learn, even as you're an economist, how come we don't learn? Because I know the impact of COVID, what it did to us, and we were like, we're not ready. So many things we had to even at the spur of a certain moment try to produce certain things locally ourselves. Then the Russian-Ukraine war came in, and then fertilizer and wheat became an issue again. Now this junta, this coup in Niger, with the closure of borders by ECOWAS instruction, look at where we are right now. So how can we not foresee, looking into the future and plan adequately towards it? We brought about this fine policy, planning for food and jobs. We've spent over the 6 years or 6.5 years, over 2 billion Ghana cedis in there. What have we to show? We're still importing tomatoes, importing jelly. What is wrong with us? How can we don't learn?
Yes, it's due to misplaced priority and the quest to win elections by all means. You see, most of these policies would have to run in the long term, and so you may have to acquire the land, prepare the grounds, build storage facilities, do the necessary background checks. It will take some time, and so it could be that the results would start coming after your regime. So you realize that even the affordable housing and the likes, these are projects you are not able to finish. Though you see the fiscal structure there, but people are not able to stay in it because your tenure will be over. And as it were, once you are off, they allow it to be there to get rotten. And if you don't take time, it might not go to your benefit when you are campaigning. And so they resort to short-term projects that will yield them more results and more votes, and that is the major problem we have. It isn't as if they are not aware that we need some basic things, but that the duration and their quest to win elections. And you see, if you can easily tell from our budget, you see, the budget we do, it is not for fun. That is a map we are going to use throughout the year. And so once you see that we are devoting higher resources to free SHS, school feeding program, nursing and teacher training allowances, and those things are still in our budget, it tells you that we have very little resources for some of these very important things. And I have stayed here, talked about it several times, that if you look at the budget we even gave to one district, one factory, planting for food and jobs, and Maswak, that would have to even give loans to people to help them expand and grow. These are very scanty resources. But if you look at the budget we devoted for our social spending, huge. So it tells you that the government places more premium on social spending.
How can we turn this around? How can we get government to do the right things? Because I'm happy you talk again about the nurses allowance, the teacher training allowances, and all that. We do politics with it.
Yes.
So one says, okay, we're taking it off. Then, hey, we talk them because they want to win votes. Then say, okay, let's bring it back, and they will rush and do all these unnecessary things. And the people who are in there who think that they are benefiting and therefore are enjoying it, they don't look at the bigger picture and say to themselves, how is this also impacting the other sector of the economy?
Yes.
How do we get people who want power? How do we get them to do the things that will benefit us as a people and not only a select few?
So we have to start educating ourselves and start understanding what it takes to manage an economy. You see, I've said that we have to improve upon our vote, the quality of our vote. When I say quality vote, I'm talking about a voter that will look at specific issues, would try to look at policies that will help the future, and not just because someone is making fanciful promises and promising heaven on earth, then we begin to vote for the person, or simply because the person is from your hometown or the person looks nicer. So I think we need our institutions that are supposed to educate us on some of these issues must be equipped, and the politician would refuse to do that. And so an institution that has a lot of resources in terms of election, in most cases, electoral commission, I'm sure we may have to create a subsidiary that would tackle educating people on the best ways to vote.
If the food on our market are affordable and available, they'll become cheap, so we can all afford it. But here we are, they change cedis into safer, am I right?
Yeah.
And they go and buy these things, and so it's still affecting our city, it's still affecting our economy. And then they would have to fuel the transportation wise. All this makes the price of these things go up, and then we go to the market and we are complaining, we are crying. It affects our food inflation. Akunta, so let's talk about the situation on the ground. Let's say the past 3 months, or let's say 4 months. How much was a bag, for example, of onions? And based on what is happening right now, you, for example, said you had to take your onions back to Niger.
Yeah.
You had to load it again. You had to pay how much safer did you pay again
for the fuel
alone?
Bent about that is 19 Ghana cedis, 190 million.
Okay, so 19,000 Ghana cedis. That's what you spend again.
Yeah, and
that's on fuel.
Yeah,
taking it back.
Fuel, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
boy.
Yeah. and then those who offloaded them,
you have to pay them. So in all this, let's say 4 months ago, how much was a bag of onion? As
4 months ago,
how much is it right now? So we can appreciate the increase in there.
All right, about 4 months ago, it was around 600 cedis, 6 million old cedis. And you know, onion is, I mean, how do we say it? Seasonal crop, you know. So for onion, it doesn't matter. Like mfa hu say no ame kosro no na eno nso kosro a seasonal thing. Inti eba yedua na start na eba bebre bo no kofem. You know, say eba bebre or system no ma bo no kofem. Ena say sanso e wo system no ma na buono so it's
just like a demand and supply.
Yeah,
so if the season is an onion season, the prices will go down. That's what he's saying. But if it's a season where it's not a season for onions, then definitely the price would go up.
Yeah, and then so cases like what happened also increases the price.
So right now, how much are we selling a bag of onion right now? With all that is happening, how much roughly is a bag of onion going for?
Yeah, it's about the ones from Burkina. We're selling them 1,800.
Okay.
1,900.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And you said to me yesterday when we were having a conversation before today that if we don't do the right things, they'll get to a stage where there will not be any
onion at all. Because I was saying that now we are fortunate that this is happening in the time Ghanaians onions are also coming.
In season.
In season. A time the Ghanaian onion is also ready. If not because of that, like we wouldn't have had these little ones we are selling to people right now. Yeah, it is true. So I was saying that if care is not taken and this case is not resolved, maybe getting to next month and the end of next month when the Ghanaian onion also finishes from the system, we wouldn't get onion like when maybe you want to even take a little kinky, the onion we grind.
For me now, you're my friend. So by all means,
for that one, sure.
Now you're the you know. Why?
But David, there's another fundamental problem. You know, when I went into the market, I tried speaking to some of the people who come there to buy from them, the retailers and others. They were telling me that there's a fundamental problem with the Ghanaian onions, the locally produced.
They don't like that variety.
Exactly.
What's the problem with that variety?
Listen, they have nicknames for them, and I've listed them there. Sobulu. They call it Sobulu.
Which one is the Sobulu?
It is reddish in color.
The Ghanaian onion.
The Sobulu. Because they're color. Okay.
Yes. They call it Boayewa.
Yeah.
What? Why?
Which one is the Boayewa?
It's harder as compared to the Nigeria. It's harder.
So where's from the Boayewa? Where is it from?
The Ghanaian
Boayewa. Yes. Okay. They also call it onyono.
Yeah. It is bitter.
So these retailers are telling me that when they buy it, they retail them to sell. The women, they don't prefer the Ghanaian.
So we have the Research Institute.
Exactly.
Where they look for other variants of what do you call it, onions, and grow them.
But the GMO we oppose. They didn't oppose GMO.
The whole thing is that I think it is a support that Nigerian have gotten from the government. I can't talk much about, but I think because of the way they cultivate it in a large scale, I think it's a support they've gotten from the government.
So we also have governments here who promise us plenty for food and jobs, who told us that we need to be food sufficient and all that, and where are we with all that promises? Listen, join us now on 03220 835 96, 03220 835 97, 03220 835 98. The worrying aspect of this whole thing, Nanaya, is that aside from the fact that their investments is being wasted, properties being destroyed, lives are also at risk here. Lives are being lost. I don't know whether it's come to the attention of our leaders. If it has, let's do something about it because lives matter. Let's speak to Kofi, who's on the line right now. Kwame, please hold the line for me. Kofi, good morning and let's hear you.
Good morning, Bruni. I will disagree with anybody who will call coup as nonsense. Look, we've had we have a General Champong, Ankara, Kotoka, Teach, a Champong, Kufu, and Rollins. Look, a Champong during a Champong time, people were made to do small-scale farming called Operation Feed Yourself, and people abreast it. And we did small-scale farming, and that ended the farming in Ghana. Fast forward to the same Champon was able to build slate flats, and he completed them before he left office. Rawlings came.
Kofi, maybe we'll spend time and talk. Kofi, if you indulge me, let's make some time and talk about coup d'etats if that the conversation is
David,
that important. But let's look at the condition and situation we find ourselves in. Let's talk about food security for now.
As a result of bad governance. Look at the situation in Ghana now. Look at how government has run. Akufo-Addo has run the country. Borrowed so much money that no government had borrowed, and we can't find anything.
Here you, Kofi. Thank you very much for joining us. Kwame, please hold the line for me. Let's speak to Kwame. Hi, Kwame. Good morning.
Good morning, David.
Kwame, welcome. Let's hear you, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, David. This year we have been very lucky. We have enjoyed very good amount of rainfall, and I'm sure if you can take advantage of what is happening and invite Mufa to the studios to discuss how our farmers can take advantage of what is happening, I think it is going to be very helpful. I'm sure even if you are not a regular onion farmers, if you decide to go into onion production this year, you are definitely going to make some reasonable margins. So let's look at that, David. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kwame. Kwabena is also on the line. Hi, Kobe. Good morning.
Good morning, David.
Yes, Kwabena. Let's hear you, sir.
Yes, I'll make it simple. They have an adage that says that necessity is the mother of invention. Now it has become necessary is that Ghanaians will look into our system and start planting our own onions. So as quickly as possible, the farmers and these merchants who have been buying onions from Burkina Faso and other places, they should consult the farmers and invest some of their money into the activities and start planting onions as quickly as possible. It takes less than 6 months to harvest. So instead of us wailing and focusing our attention on government and stuff, they should collaborate with the farmers and then look at farming onions in Ghana, because now there's no going to be any competition from Burkina Faso and Niger. So we should all focus on that as quickly as possible.
All right, Kobe, thanks very much. Today's Tuesday, so today's your day, bro. I hear you. Christoph, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, David. How are you, sir?
I am well, Chris. Good to have you, sir.
Yes, thank you, David. David, we've listened to the conversation, precept upon precept. And I have realized that, David, we can't be blaming the external forces for our problem, because we have all what it takes for us to do everything here possible for us. David, our land is very fertile, okay? So what are we doing as people? I'm not saying only government. Even individually, you remember somebody came onto your show some time ago and said that we should even use at the back of our houses, what about to plant some, vegetables that you need. So this, to me, this is a wake-up call for us. We shouldn't blame anybody. We should grow these things right here. David, why do we have to go to Burkina before we get even tomatoes to buy or to prepare our food and our meals? It is an eyesore. So to us, the Minister of Agri, this is a wake-up call for us. Let's do something. Let's grow our own food so that at least we can reduce our dependency on these people. That is what we all hope for and we are all wishing for.
Chris, as always, grateful to you for joining us. George is our final caller. Hi, George. Good morning and welcome, sir.
Good morning, David. How are you?
The Lord is my shepherd. I am well.
Thank God. David, the other day I called you, I couldn't get you. This is the program I wanted you to, treat. David, our leaders must be very careful. Now they say they are going to Niger to fight to restore democracy. Are they themselves democratic? Look at the president of Nigeria. Look at how he came to power. The elections are in court. They will appoint him as an ECOWAS leader. David, who is suffering now? The people who are, David, it is the people who are suffering. Open the borders for trade to go on and keep, join with the military leaders. But you have closed all borders and it is affecting us. David, the other day I went to town to buy onion. The onion that was 10 cedi is now 20 cedis. Normally, if you buy onions 10 cedi, they will add you about 4 or 5. But now, if it's 20, it's 20. Nothing will be added, and the price keep going high. David, look at these Nigerians when they come. It is them that used to come with their children on the street begging. While Francis using the aluminium for power, and they themselves have no power. So Akufo-Addo and his so-called African leaders who are not democratic and they say they are working for Europe. They are puppets of France and Europe. They must be careful, otherwise we will all join the fight.
Don't join the fight. Once you speak like this, thanks George for calling. Let's go into our WhatsApp console and take a listen to what people are also saying on there.
David, good morning. This is Teacher Ima inside Akokari. David, sometimes I wonder what our technology schools are doing. I don't know what the Burkinabes and the Nigerians they are doing that our colleges can't do to help. Sometimes we are complaining of tomatoes. We are going to get tomatoes from Mali, and they close the borders, and so we have tomatoes here. Why can't our universities and our colleges also bring up a hybrid that will be equal to theirs, and we wouldn't have to be suffering now that they've closed the borders? We are suffering. We are having issue with onions. Soon it will be tomatoes. Soon it will be carrots. So Dave, I think our universities they should sit up. The government should sit up and finance them into doing some of these things that will help us, and I think it will even bring money to the economy. And
well, thank you very much, and please keep your voice messages, let's say, within less than a minute. 40 seconds, 50 seconds is fine. So thank you very much. So we can play as many as possible. Thank you very much. Let's take a listen to this one.
Good morning, David. This is Isaac. Dave, I've already made a whole lot of posts on Facebook and other things. The repercussion of the ECOWAS action that they want to try. They should dare. They will see the repercussions. I have said it, that look, if they try, there will be civil uprising in countries where they want to protect, including Ghana. There was civil uprising here. Russia-Ukraine war, COVID, everything has already been blamed on it. And we are bearing the brunt over here. We, the unknowns, let me put it that way, the unprivileged, we are bearing the brunt here. And now, look at what the guests are talking about. I've already made a whole lot of posts on this. Because we virtually import foodstuffs from these areas. And you want to compound our problems. Frankly, I don't think the ECOWAS were there. They are just...
Well, we've heard from Festus Abuaji and co, who have advised that, listen, that is not the option. So let's hope and pray that that doesn't happen. At least we have time to play one more voice note, and then we'll call it a morning here. So take a listen to this.
Dave, it is a good policy, planting for food and job. But what we have to be discussing is which people are going into that policy. Which people are implementing that policy? Which people are going into agric to produce the goods that we need? It is a good policy. So what we have to discuss is how do we materialize it? But when we look at it like, oh, it's a policy, why is not solving food for the people? So we bring a policy, then you find out which people must go into it. Then you entice those people. You don't just open it up that people should be going. People should be going based on what? They are going to sacrifice, based on what are they going to get in return. Initially, you prioritize. We need vegetables, we need cereals, we need tubers, we need this. And then if you want to become food sufficient, we need about so and so acres of land. And this so and so acres of land, these are the number of people who must go into it. Then you entice them. Already there are peasant farmers. You don't just think that this new policy, the peasant farmers have to implement, because already he's doing something and he doesn't know how the output will be. So government is a good policy on paper, but you have to implement. You must get people.
I like the way he puts it. It's a good policy on paper, but what have we got to show for it? That's where the challenge is. Planning for food and jobs is perfect, but how well have we managed it? Having spent 2 billion and over in there. Leo, you and I were at a program that I was moderating, and you know that chief who came, who is a farmer, and the farming that he's done, from livestock to aquatic farming,
everything you can think of,
and
he even has donkeys. Can you imagine?
Large volume of land, but maybe because he's a chief, he can acquire the land and do it. But as a nation, if we say we're doing planning for food and jobs, and we have vast lands available, fertile lands available, what have we really done?
Dave, when they said planting for food and jobs, was my understanding. I thought maybe they were going to have like large
thousands of acres of land and grow,
set up facilities,
mechanize bring machines,
yes, so that we can have, like, say, if there's a season of planting, we can hire, say, 5,000 people come. So even if we in multimedia here, if you go on leave, you can go at the season where they are, and then go and work for like 2 weeks and come, something like that. But
we say we're going to build dams. More, the dams themselves are thirsty. We did a documentary, Thirsty Dams. The dams themselves are thirsty. How do they do farming up north?
We forget about the kind of seedlings we are using in these cultivations.
But that's why I say that we have the CSIR, the Crop Research Institute. Can we fall on them?
Dave,
what is wrong with us?
Look, do you know that Northeast is one of the few regions that are suffering the most from high food inflation? Northeast.
Wow.
Yes, Western region, Western North and Northeast are the highest hit.
Western region used to be the food basket of the country.
Galamsey.
You know, David, 30 seconds, your time is far gone. You know, in this conversation, what is lost? The regions we import these things from are deserts.
Exactly.
They are desert. Now, the 1D1 dam was copied from a certain Thomas Sankara. It's called One Gorgeous, One Village. And he dug almost every village and irrigated it. We made it proper English, one village, one dam, and the dams are not there.
They are thirsty.
That's it.
It's sad, huh? All right, so wake up to a new taste of Big O Cola. Nothing comes close to Big O Cola, a drink of joy, both cold and sweet. Big O Drink is a range of soft drinks developed, bottled, and distributed in Ghana by Trillium Industrial Ghana. Big O Cola drink offers a great taste and superior value to consumers. Now, for your parties, your weddings, your funerals, and all occasions, reach out for Big O Drinks. For the school children, listen, I bet you that is the drink of choice. So anytime you want a drink to quench your thirst, reach out for Big O Cola and feel the taste of nature. For bulk purchases, you can call 03221-90877. It is 03221-90877. It's a quality product from Trillium Industries Limited. You want to go study abroad? You want to go work abroad? Visit Zest Consult. Now, have you been searching for the best place to study for your IELTS, your SAT, and of course your GRE tuition to make your study, scholarship, and job acquisition abroad come true? Then look no further. Zest Consult is the #1 place for you. Zest Consult has taught over 5,000 individuals to pass their IELTS, SAT, and GRE. Over 3,000 nurses, midwives, and other workers have passed their IELTS through Zest Consult to work in the UK and USA. Some have also used the IELTS to also apply for schools outside the country. A number of students have also acquired scholarships through Zest Consult to study abroad for their undergraduate and postgraduate programs through the SAT and GRE tuition. We, that is Zest Consult, can help you study in the UK, USA, Germany, Australia, China, and other countries, even under scholarship. Aside from helping people to go work abroad or study abroad, Zest Consult is also into real estate services. Now, we assist in the selling or buying of buildings and litigation-free lands. Locate Zest Consult at Kumasi Cultural Center or the Chemso near the Kumasi Airport roundabout. Call Zest Consult on 0555-631-633 or 050-9092-330. Zest Consult. Excellence is our hallmark. Now, don't forget that on the Super Morning Show, the guys wanted to travel abroad and drove from Ghana through some African countries and got to the UK. Will be on the show. They'll be sharing the experience with us as to how the trip was like for them, how the road was like for them when they were driving all the way from, Ghana to the UK. They call themselves the Wanderlust, and they'll be sharing with us their trip on the road to the UK. Please stay tuned. That comes up next on the Super Morning Show.
Hey, you ever buy credits where you get up to 20% of your money back before? Make I tell you about Vodafone's demo promo. See, anytime you recharge a demo, you get up to 20%, whether it be short code or your Vodafone cash wallet, or you don't use credit transfer to your number or someone else. And now you be high tech, so you don't use my Vodafone app or any payment app. However you do, Vodafone go send you up to 20% cash back into your Vodafone cash account. Who reload here? But then you enter. Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana cedi or more in Vodafone's demo promotion and receive 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone demo promotion.
Vodafone, further together.
Makion Restaurant, continental and local dishes. Adriani Papa Fie, Upedia Bonsa. Makion Restaurant, continental and local dishes. Adriani Papa Fie, Upedia Bonsa.
Makion Catering Services, ye nimu fritete, Adriani Pa, e mahode. Wedi die wieno, na wenum so da ho. Na die kumi krane se, e buono dafo. Makion Hotel, Supermall Bibiada, amu wenya hoto. Fully air conditioned, free Wi-Fi, and na conference hall with modern gadgets. Upewe na upedie. Makion Restaurant, Usubecha door-to-door services. Sheshe Makion Services, ewu Kumasi Asukwa, Anase Audio. Makion ni, na ufon sunye. Fre omu ewa mwatrofo iso 0322-496-249. Anase 0244-417-446. Makion Services, 7 is what we are. Ubedia Bonsano. Ubedia Bonsano.
SD Dombo University of Business and Integrated Development Studies School of Business offers accredited weekend MBA and MSc programs within 15 months in accounting, finance, human resource management, procurement and supply chain management, health service management, marketing and strategy, and Master of Public Administration. We also offer 2-semester MSc programs in development finance, project management, accounting and finance, leadership and management studies, and innovation and entrepreneurship, and 2-semester Master of Public Health in 12 months. Our centers are Accra, Wa, Bolgatanga, Tamale, Kumasi, Suyani, and Koforidua. What to expect? First class tuition. Our programs give you favorable exemptions with professional bodies, fully air-conditioned lecture rooms. We provide snack and lunch each day at no extra cost. Apply now at www.wnba.ub.edu.gh. Application fee is 205 Ghana cedis. Dial star 887*18# by voucher. Alias is UBs or buy from Stanbic Bank, ADB, GCB, and Consolidated Bank, Ghana. Application deadline is 31st of August and lectures start on the 2nd of September 2023. For enquiries, call 0594-971-779 or 0203-455-499.
Aji, mensa ye titiri na ayami yaka ho. Doctor say me BP ni me sugar nyina kwosoro.
Die wuhia ne Amuzu garlic bitters.
Amuzu garlic bitters.
Ane Amuzu garlic bitters. Ewo herbal shop bia.
Wow! Coffee, pussy and fair. With the amount of them are bright.
A interface plasterboard ceiling. And I'm there bomb them a tijasano. And to ready a dance for and a more ceiling what you mean. Interface plasterboard ceiling. And I'm on farm them. The bomb them I a first one cobra. So the interface plasterboard ceiling about them and madam fe ne sounds with chair. A interface limited and a diaba Bomadia. Now from 0274 999999 and I call website www.interfacelimited.com.
Bra na minya Royal Foam mattress no. How bebre na me komu. Medam panosweni na atom. Na mechi kase so na me honam nyina ya meya. Na de kome kra ne se. Ya no mo so beda aso ape. Na wagya me. Na minya Royal Foam mattress no. Pa kwesi da aso ape. E na oje me ho ade. Congratulations dear, me fa no kwa. Asedan koma Royal Foam. Quality mattress papa fi. Oji aware Royal Foam. What manani relaxation ayede. Awoto so a wunya wo mu ne se. Royal Foam mattress eye papa. Eche yie eye quilted mattress inti. Woda so a ama wona ye foam. Se woto mattress free Royal Foam a. Eche wo free pillows. Royal Foam aje abasobode e wo 12 Ghana Business and Financial Excellence Awards no mu. Yet on quality duvets, curtains, beds, ne carpentry foams ahodo nyina bi. Hwehwe yen wo Royal Foam showrooms any sales depots a ewo Ghana fana nyina. Fre 020-227-1000. Royal Foam, rest assured.
I've got Bell back and I won't let go.
My name is Nanama McBrown. Many people think I get what I want anytime because I am popular. No, that is not true. It is because me and Kasano, I like the best, and when I find it, I stick to it. I have found Bell Pack Tea Roll, and I'm stuck with it. It is soft but not weak, strong but not hard. It is just perfect. Bell Pack Tea Roll is smooth, and gentle on the skin. Same as Bell Pack kitchen towel. It cleans in one wipe. You can soak, squeeze, and clean again. One Bell Pack kitchen towel lasts longer and saves you money. It's time you switch to Bell Pack today and experience the perfect paper tissue. Say pocket tissue, table napkins, tea roll, and a kitchen towel. Paper chow. Bell Pack is simply the best. Bell Pack, just perfect.
To be a Bell Pack distributor, call 055-11-44400. Another quality product from Bell Aqua.
It feels so good like Bell Pack. There's a place I love and often dream of, like a painted picture. It's so beautiful.
The journey has been awesome. It's been a wonderful experience. The reception with which the world has received this is humbling, and the reception we got on entering England is unforgettable. We are humbled, we are grateful, we are getting a lot of support. We've noticed that contributions towards the fund is increasing, and it's exciting to see.
Coffee in your cup, enjoy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best on Joy 99.7 FM.
Kaja Israel, Kaja Ethiopia, Sudan, Wajashong. Kaja Ikushima, you know, Wadime Kona, me Wajashong. So Timbuktu, Ghana, Mali, Sumanguru, you know, Wajashong. Wajashong.
Yeah, well, they are from far, Ankasa, 10,000 kilometers. That's how far. The Wanderlust Ghana team are here. We're so excited. Franklin Peters is the CEO of Inkit, and Richard Osei Inim is a managing partner at Coral Reef Innovation Hub. These guys took a holiday and they didn't go and sit at the beach with it. They decided to take a drive, and boy, what a drive. They've put Ghana on the map in a very big way, and we're so excited they could make time to join us this morning to tell us all about their amazing 10,000 kilometer expedition from Ghana